Never before has gambling been so heavily promoted and accessible, especially through sport. This makes it feel like a normal part of the game and harder for students to recognise the potential harm. We want students to love the game, not the odds. The school education program is here to support you, to help your students develop healthy and informed attitudes to gambling as they approach adulthood. This instruction video and the unit it explains forms part of a wider suite of resources and tools to assist you and your school tackle this important wellbeing issue. This video supports the Telling Gaming from Gambling unit of work, which can be downloaded from our website. It's really flexible. You can deliver it as one discrete unit or pick and modify tasks to suit your students' needs. For optimal results, we'd suggest sticking with the recommended terminology and learning outcomes. The primary learning intention of this unit is to demonstrate that it's becoming more difficult to tell the difference between gaming and gambling. We also want students to appreciate that digital games which simulate gambling can be misleading. It's a general unit that's been mapped to levels 9 and 10 achievement standards for critical and creative thinking, as well as personal and social capability. Teachers can use this in any domain. It's particularly suited to the health and PE, humanities, English and science. Alternatively, this unit could be used as a series of tasks for a withdrawal group or targeted program. See the rubrics in the appendix that have been included to support student assessment and feedback.
All the material is given to you by the program. There's lesson plans and an outline that's very clear. It was quite fun to run with the students, really engaging, different type of activities inside that unit, really encouraged other students that normally don't really participate to join in the conversation and the discussion about gambling itself.
Like any potentially sensitive topic, we'd recommend you and your class set some ground rules together to promote a safe learning space, covering things like how to fairly and respectfully participate in class discussions, what's appropriate to disclose in the classroom, and what students can do if they feel uncomfortable. When discussing gambling with students, be mindful not to give the impression that betting underage is normal. The tuning in section of the learning sequence should take around an hour to an hour and a half. Define screen time as the amount of time spent on any digital device, including smartphones, computers, tablets and TV. Next, students will research their peers' screen habits and common online activities through a survey task. There's a student handout in Appendix 2 on page 14 to assist with this. After students have surveyed their classmates, discuss their results. Ask if they've seen apps that remind them of gambling, and if they're aware of any issues associated with playing these games and apps. Explain that this unit is all about raising their awareness of the risks associated with these fake gambling apps so they can avoid any potential pitfalls. The next section of the learning sequence will take around 2 hours and involves a presentation that explains how it's getting harder to tell gaming from gambling. To help guide you through each slide, see pages 8 to 10. It's worth being mindful that for some students, this may be the first time they've heard of fake gambling apps, whereas other students may have experience playing them. Try to avoid statements that make playing these apps seem normal or something that students shouldn't do. In our experience, this just makes students keen to play more. Just focus on how difficult it can be to tell the difference between these apps and real gambling, and discuss how this can make gambling feel less risky and why this is concerning. Also, keep in mind in-app purchases and how it can be easy to get carried away and spend a significant sum on these. Students will then use a key message from this presentation to write a school newsletter article aimed at raising awareness amongst parents. Depending on your student's ability level, you may want to differentiate this task to suit individual student needs by adjusting the required word limit. This next section is best spaced out over 2 to 3 lessons. It involves reading, rehearsing and then performing a short play that tells the story of a Year 10 student who's spending large amounts of money on in-app purchases within fake gambling apps. Following this, ask students to answer some reflective questions and, time permitting, complete an extension activity, writing their own short script referencing key messages from the play. The last section of the learning sequence should take around 2 hours to complete. To consolidate their learning, ask students to create an awareness campaign for parents addressing the issue of apps that look like gambling. Details of this are included in the student handout on page 19. An assessment matrix is included for both the roles play and public awareness campaign tasks. These support self, peer and teacher assessment and are included in the appendix of the unit. That concludes our instruction video for this unit. If, while completing this, you become concerned that gambling may be an issue for one of your students or their family and friends, you can refer them to our free and confidential Gamblers Health Youthline support service. They can call 1800 262 376 or visit gamblershelp.com.au/youthline. You can also contact this service for advice and support. We'd encourage you to let your school's wellbeing staff know that you're undertaking this unit and be aware of who to inform if you become concerned. For more information, visit our Love the Game website.